of Svr Vs Gf Game. This is the loser bracket finals. Winner goes home, and the winner moves on to face off against Resurgence in the finals.
Yeah. So right now it is Sovereign with a strong lead, 1-0. If they win the second game, they will be going up against Resurgence in the finals. But if they lose, well, we'll go to game 3.
Well, I mean, fun facts. People die when they are killed, and the game is lost when the Nexus explodes.
Yeah.
Okay, same bans coming through from the side of Sovereign. I do believe they changed up one ban. I'm not sure if the Karma was banned out the previous game as well, but Nocturne and Rise being the consistent bans for the side of Sovereign. Whereas for the side of Geek Fam, I think they're opening things up a little bit more. They open up the Skarner this time around, first pick the Astro for themselves, and they have continued to ban out LeBlanc.
Yeah, picking the Skarner for themselves, Ezreal rather. The previous game, of course, it was Quake that had the Ezreal and Olivia Baron, who had the Caitlyn. The name, of course, a bit strange. We didn't really ask them to change their team names, but yes, now it's a sort of reverse matchup for both teams.
Now, I'm kind of curious. So now is Ezreal who's prioritizing the Morgana. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of Morgana priority.
Okay.
Simply because there's just so many matchups that give her trouble. Ezreal as well as a poke matchup over here.
Right.
And for Ezreal Zyra, even Ezreal Nami.
Oh yeah, Ezreal Nami is the worst to play against, especially when you want a bot lane to get a hit like Sovereign wants. Yeah.
It'll give you so much ability to combat the Morgana Caitlyn. But the Morgana Caitlyn, you diamond binding, you lay the traps on top of it, and there's a lot of bursts coming through from the Sovereign side. And they will be pairing that together with an Alistar as well. So we have to see what is going to be the jungle matchup. Is this going to be the Xingqiao once again?
Yeah, if they take the Xingqiao into the Graves, I feel like the way Sovereign won the previous game was really just getting very strong deep vision and going in for the invades, but also capitalizing on fast roams coming in from their laners whenever they had a skirmish in the jungle. No, it's going to be the Vladimir locked in here.
There are two champions I don't like Vladimir into. One is Skarner, the other is Graves. Skarner because he can CC you down and it makes it so difficult for you to make plays, and Graves is because he has a lot of burst. So early game he comes in and the amount of damage that Graves provides makes it very difficult for you to really put any form of pressure in the lane.
And the danger really is present when you have that Graves against your Vladimir, but more likely now that we are going into the second ban phase, seeing the Cassiopeia taken away, a lot of respect here from Sovereign. But with the Ornn and Zac, majority of the large tanks being taken away, Sovereign doesn't really have a strong pick that they could synergize into their composition, because remember, one of their weaknesses against Resurgence was that they drafted 0 tanks with 0 CC and they got completely obliterated.
I'm not surprised if they do the same thing here once again, but I do hope that they do ban the Azir over here. It's actually a pretty decent pick, but they do choose to ban out the Talia instead to make sure that they can retain priority. I do not like this because Vladimir is a good matchup into Talia.
Yeah, more surprisingly though, not to mention that they ran Swain with this composition the other time. I don't really want to see Swain here either, because granted you can pull the enemy in after you land a Dark Binding, but it just means that you funnel yourself into such a weird composition. If you fall behind, you lose.
So no Xingqiao ban coming through from Geek Fam. And I think that opens up for SVR to perhaps go for that once again. They're going to be picking the Camille first. This could be a flex pick coming through.
Yeah, you're right.
And I think Camille jungle has kind of fallen off the radar. So if they do bait the Fiora pick over here, that might open up the possibility of them going for another champion in the top lane, perhaps even sending Vladimir into the top lane and then going for the Galio mid.
Yes.
Going the old switcher routes. This is very tricky from SVR. They do look the Fiora in. Galio here would be genius.
Honestly, Jensen, what do you think? Do you think they'll be looking to get the Galio here in the mid lane, or are they going to stick with something that's tried and tested? You know, the Camille in the top lane, Vladimir in the mid lane.
They are anticipating the Galio. They go for the Malzahar here, and Galio, he doesn't like to see Graves. It's another champion that you look at Graves, that's a lot of 80 damage, but they go for the Zoe though. That changes things up. If they went for the Malzahar, first they're not the most confident, especially Malzahar into Vladimir in this situation. So we have to see what last pick comes true for SVR over here.
Is it gonna be the old switcheroo, or will the Sovereign lineup stick to their guns? Riven probably not gonna be it, although Shinsekai quite a proficient Riven player as well.
You go for the Riven, once again a 0-10 composition, and you're up against a Zoe,
Yeah.
and an Ezreal, and a Graves.
Okay, there we go.
That's a tank.
There is a tank.
That is a tank.
Thumbs up. You can't see me, but thumbs up right now.
Yeah, that gets a thumbs up for me, but I'm still not very sure because they do have a tank, and that drastically improves their ability to play this matchup because the Cho'Gath against the Fiora, you get the early push, but now SVR, they won't necessarily have the comfort of playing to a split pushing side laner anymore. They do have the Vladimir, and I'm not too sure how the Vladimir would do against the Fiora, but I do know one thing for sure. Vladimir into Zoe, that is a very good matchup for Vladimir.
Yes, for sure. I mean, really, you can negate a lot of her damage coming in and just keep yourself healthy and topped up in lane. You're talking a bit more about the Camille jungle pick flying under the radar. I want to pick your brain a bit. How does this sort of work in 8.10? Is it stronger, weaker? How is the jungle changes affected her?
Well, there's a lot more emphasis on dueling junglers to get priority on the Scarlet Crab, and Camille is a pretty strong dueling jungler. Against the likes of a Graves, though, I'm not too sure how it's going to work. This is going to be a question of who finds who at which point of time in the parting. Graves will still farm faster than the Camille, but given that the setup that SVR has at the moment, I actually feel that Camille doesn't really have that many good setups, especially against the Zoe. If she's able to pick up some Proto Belt and some additional mobility for herself, it's not like a Skarner where you're just running into a face. Yeah. She has the ability to dodge out your hook shot, and if she can do that, you might find yourself in a very awkward position.
More to the point as well is the fact that Shinsekai on a tank, not something we've traditionally seen a lot. You're talking about how he actually can play tanks. I'm on the opposite opinion. Shinsekai is a carry player only in my mind, right? I don't think he excels at all on tanks. How do you figure this matchup works? Fiora into Cho'Gath, and more particularly Shinsekai's Cho'Gath.
Well, you play a tank on the top side of the map, you play a mage on the bottom side of the map. This isn't necessarily about a direct tank versus Fiora matchup, it's about across the map.
Okay.
For the side of Geek Fam, they're going to be playing to the top side of the map as much as possible, whereas for SVR, they're going to be playing towards the bottom side of the map. They want to be making use of the Caitlyn and the Morgana
right,
to bust open the bottom lane, to bully the fact that they do not have a double range champion on the bottom side of the map. And we're going to see the Camille most likely put a priority into getting the 2v2 in the mid lane and then translating that into a dive on the bottom side of the map, if not for directly going for the bottom side of the map. So Morgana bindings is what we're going to watch out for in this game, as well as Camille's parting. All Cho'Gath is going to do in the early game is just push out the waves, go to his jungle, ward it up to spot out where the Graves is at any point of time.
Right, and I mean on the side of Geek Fam as well, some of the stuff new here would be the Fiora, the Zoe as well. I think the Zoe has a lot of potential for setups in the mid game because we drawing from a couple of games from MSI, right? We see a lot of Zoe Ezreal together. You land a bubble, you land one mystic shot, and then the pedal star. That's a lot of health gone, and there's only Cho'Gath that can tank that for the side of Sovereign. Anyone else eats that, they're dead.
The Sleepy Trouble Bubble and the poke that Zoe represents is definitely going to be a huge thing, and I think that as Sphere, if they're able to identify that and know that Vladimir is supposed to be the one champion splitting in the side lanes in the later stages of the game, they should be able to do fine with the Cho'Gath being able to soak up the damage on the front lines. And in fact, an early Warmox might even be in order for the Cho'Gath in this game. And given that now you're putting the Vladimir in the side lane, his ability to get a hit in the earlier stages is going to be extremely important. Because if he's just going to be collecting the waves under the turret against a Fiora, then there's no point putting him in the side lane. They want him to be able to be a hit so that he can push out the wave and then he can get the flank onto the Zoe in the mid lane.
Meanwhile, for the side of Geek Fam, I want to see them be more proactive, in the lane, use the Alistair as best they can, and hopefully make an impact to sort of set Vladimir behind, because as you mentioned, a win condition for Sovereign. So granted, the spectator delay has finished. There was about 3 minutes worth of discussion and analysis. We will be hopping into game very soon.
Well, I actually felt that, just going back to one last thing about the draft. If Geek Fam, they didn't go for the Fiora, they didn't greed into, they went for Camille, we need to pick the Fiora counter pick. If they just want to tank that and they played Zoe, I would feel that they will be in a pretty decent position. Simply because, at that point of time, no tanks on the side of SVR, and if they can get a tank with pretty decent lane priority, they actually put Ezreal in a pinch. They steal the Cho'Gath away from Shinsekai, and then suddenly he's playing in the Maokai.
Okay, so we are on to the Rift. Loading might be facing a bit of an issue, so let's see if we can jump back to the brackets and try to fix this up real quick.
I think gotta quit and then rejoin again.
Okay. Right, got it. Nice. There we go. So I am reconnecting into game, so hopefully there's not too much delay as we... Yep, there we go, straight into game. Right. Oof. Early damage being taken here by Shinsekai, and that's Kleptomancy being taken by Shiny in the top lane.
Very standard build coming here from the Fiora. Sometimes if they want to be greedier, they even go for the Grass of the Undying to have a better trade.
Yeah.
And if they want to go for the all-ins to have a stronger all-in in the later stages of the game, they go for either press the attack or the new Keystone of the Conqueror.
Yeah, actually, I quite like Conqueror now as a top lane rune because it gives you definite windows of opportunity to fight. That being said, the Kleptomancy helps us scale into the late game a bit more to deal with the threat that will be Arakelik's Vladimir.
Now, every time I see the Zoe throw the Q and it hits the paddle star on the Vladimir, I die a little bit on the inside. You just want to push the lane against the Vladimir. He just has so much sustain against your poke, you wouldn't be able to achieve much. You beat him by out-shoving him.
Yeah, because early on, without the Tides of Blood leveled up quickly, he actually takes a lot of damage. And speaking of a lot of damage, Shinsekai getting his vitals procced here by Shiny's Fiora. Oh, one more.
He has the Grasp of the Undying, and every time he kills a minion, he gets health back. So actually, those traits work in his favor. The Fiora has to be careful, and it's a little bit of the luck of the draw. You want to be able to get the health pots from the Kleptomancy to be able to sustain up in lane.
Oh, that's the damage coming in. Great dodge on the knockup, but 1v1 going the way of Shinsekai gets the riposte as well. And right now, the wave is pushing towards Shiny with his jungler behind him. I'm not sure if Shinsekai wants to stick in lane for too long. Okay, puts the ward down, that's fine.
But the thing about Cho'Gath, this is a very immobile champion with no escape spells. And if the Graves does go up to top lane with the raid buff, that could result in a kill for them. But if the Graves does not have raid buff, they wouldn't really be able to make much headway onto this Cho'Gath.
Meanwhile, on the mid lane, we did see the Sleepy Trouble Bubble landing, and there was some damage being put onto Arakelik, but he will heal it up with the Transfusion. Really just a stagnant early game. Both teams trying their best to get the items required and hit that point where they are strong. Junglers appearing in the mid lane. That's going to be Soul coming in with the flash as well to lock him up, and the support coming in as well from Hesitant Desmond will get the first blood. Now can they turn towards Arakelik? He has the red buff, has the blue buff, will be able to slow him down. Arakelik with no flash will be going down. One more auto attack. There we go. That's an early double kill. But meanwhile, the binding landing on the bottom lane, flashing away to get the knock up as well. The stun coming in onto Quake. 2 kills going the way of Geek Fam this early on, and could have been 3 had it not been from the flash from Quake.
Like I said, this Camille jungle in the mid lane, I'm not really rocking it. Because of the 2v2 and the way it plays around with the Zoe in the mid lane, especially with the interaction of Vladimir, you just want to be covering for him. You should be counter-ganking, not actively making the plays.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the stun into the trap.
And that was really is the classic combo with Caitlyn Morgana. The moment you land a Dark Binding, you put a Yordo Snap Trap below him, auto attack, and then fire the Pit over Peacemaker, and that's, 400 damage, 300 damage, easy. So that's a advantageous kill being taken here by Sovereign early on in the bot lane. Good job.
So in terms of the win condition of busting the ball lane open, 2v2, they're really doing the job despite a little bit of a kerfuffle in the mid lane. But the Zoe getting the kill, the assist down for herself, and the Graves getting 2 kills up on the opposition. In fact, he does have extension of the red buff because of the earlier kill. That means this should be a kill onto the Cho'Gath.
Yeah, great riposte coming in to deny any return kill coming in as well, and Sleepy Trouble Bubble landing onto this Morgana. Paddle Star connecting for a bit of health. Yeah, it's been nerfed a bit, so that Paddle Star doesn't hurt as much, but still good damage down. 3-1 now is the score.
And 3 of those kills on the Graves.
Ooh.
And this Graves has the potential to take over the game, simply in the same way that Zoe can. Lots of squishies on the South SVR. The collateral damage, or a big team fight, can see Graves do absolute amounts of damage. They just shred health bars to the point where SVR is no longer able to respond.
Yeah, looking at the itemization, not even the jungle item completed for Soul, whereas this Graves already has the Warrior Enchantment on the Challenging Smite. That is ridiculously scary. Oh, nice riposte there to get him out. This Ezreal has to stop eating the traps. If not, he's gonna die essentially.
And we talked about Astro, about the base timings, right? The Cadian went on the first back, was able to buy Berserker Grease, and hang on all in the bot lane.
Soul not landing the hook shot is huge though. That doesn't convert into a kill. Meanwhile, Handsome Desmond showing the top lane. Great flash over the wall, collateral damage, not hitting whatsoever. Using the out, procs it, and Shiny gets the kill. That's a good flash from Shinsekai to get out of that situation, but a great return gang from Handsome Desmond gets them a huge advantage in the top side.
Oh, misses a trap, unluckily onto the Astro. Just places a 1 pixel too short. I mean, mechanical misplace, we still see it at this level. Else that would have been the Astro chunk to the point where he would no longer be able to step up and safely pick up minions.
He has no more health pots as well, and I think the refillable potion is running out, so have to be careful here while he sits in lane. Top side, this Fiora 1-0-1 now, looking very strong against Shinsekai's Camille. Shinsekai's Cho'Gath rather.
And look at the CS, 28 to 54. This is quite a brutal beatdown.
Yeah.
Now he feels what it's like to be facing off against him in the top lane.
I'm just gonna call this into question once more. You said that Shinsekai's tank gameplay was strong. He's not really proving that to me just yet.
Well, I mean, you have to look at the way the junglers are setting up as well. This is a scenario in which the Graves was playing around the top side of the map, which means that you have to give up the CS or risk dying because he has got raid buff.
Okay.
And when the Graves does not have raid buff, is when you actually go up and you farm evenly against the Fiora and you can even pressure her. But because the Graves got a kill onto the Camille, so the raid buff got extended even longer. And because of that, now he finds himself in a very big pinch. Because as long as Graves has raid buff and is playing to the top side of the map, this Cho'Gath will have a very difficult time farming in the lane.
And really, Graves is playing to the top side of the map at this point. Handsome Desmond making top his permanent campsite. He wants to get Shiny ahead, and I think it's good on Geek Fam to recognize that this is a win condition for them. If the Fiora gets big enough, Arakalik really can't reply. Oh, great spell shield to keep him safe quick. Completely immune from that, and forcing away from that fight is Olivia Baron. This Ezreal not really feeling too happy in these trades.
And how much gold is he basing with? No BS or just yet. He needs one more wave.
So he's gonna stay in lane. Quick, a bit low though, but does have the heal to keep himself topped up. Meanwhile, Shinsekai level 6 has Feast. Level 7 on Shiny definitely means that they can trade this out if they want to.
Sleepy Trouble Bubble doesn't land, and jungle potting so far. Level 5 on the Camille, and level 7 on the Graves.
Yeah.
3 kills up. And this Camille has to play the bridesmaid to the Graves right now. Because of this level deficit, when you play dueling jungles, it's always very dangerous to fall behind. Because if you end up on the same side of the map, you're probably going to die.
Oh yeah.
So he has to see where Graves is playing and play to the other side of the map, which limits him from either helping his lane. Oh, he's actually going to go for it. Fantastic binding!
Lands, and this is going to be a kill here for Arakalik, but Handsome Desmond coming in to reply that kill, not finding anything whatsoever. He knows that there are 3 members of Sovereign around, so he can't really find any revenge for his fallen mid laner.
In fact, this Graves is actually pretty fat. We can see him actually 1v1 the Vladimir at this point in time. Like I said, Graves and Skarner, these 2 champions, you do not want to see them if you're playing Vladimir in the mid lane. Because of their ability to either do damage in the form of Graves or crowd control you out of the fights as the Skarner.
First set of items coming in here, the Zoe going for tier as well as the Fiendish Codex. Meanwhile, Caulfield's Warhammer done for the Camille, but no upgrade just yet. Binding landing once more. Kazuo is on point with these skill shots.
Well, I mean, the Morgana binding is definitely coming up huge in today's series as a whole so far. And we can definitely see why these Singaporean teams are prioritizing the Morgana so much.
Shinsekai taking a lot of damage from this Fiora right here, and as we see the junglers converge on the top side of the map, bot lane completely free for Sovereign to just abuse and push them out. Oh, great dodge there on the True Shot Barrage. Great sidestep rather. Beyond the jungle, Soul getting found out by Handsome Desmond. This is definitely a solo kill coming. Collateral damage whiffing though, but the red buff is good and enough to kill him. Collapse coming in as well onto Quake.
Oh, very good response from the Morgana.
Will he survive though is the question, because the Alistar has popped the ultimate. One more auto attack finishes him off. A Mystic Shot might actually get this. Who are they going to sacrifice? No, it's neither. As the Alistar tanks the damage up and keeps both members safe. Shinsekai coming in with the teleport.
He doesn't have flash.
Doesn't have flash, cannot land the knockup either. Essence shift over the wall. Perfect timing coming in from both members of Geek Fam. Oh man, Eric Kellick really wants that kill.
I mean, flash is in for it, but very strong response on the top side of the map. Immediately sending the Graves up to start taking the turret. I have to say, this game is not looking good for Svr.
It was all off the backs of really Graves finding Camille in the jungle, getting the kill. That was really the signal for Geek Fam to sort of run it down bot lane and get the kills. Smart reply, of course, coming in from Sovereign to wrap up and get some revenge. Nevertheless, one tower per team, and the goal lead going the way of Geek Fam.
I mean, Soul, he's a substitute. He's not the main player for SVR, but the story of their tournament today so far has been his inability to match the opponent jungler, making unnecessary mistakes in the jungle, not having the correct parting to contribute to his team. And we're seeing it once again here in this game. Even in the previous game where they won, I would have the feel that his parting has been rather sketchy and not really hitting the right notes to enable his team composition.
Yeah, the success of Sovereign has been more often than not just individual performance over the ability of Soul to snowball his laners and keep them safe. So a great point there, really just not contributing as much to his team as a substitute here, this jungler.
So now we start to see the map opening up and we see both teams exchanging sides. The question is, how strong is Geek Fam going to be when they finally converge into the mid lane? Because that is kind of where the strongest power spot. I guess when Zoe's level 9, you've got 5 points into the queue and you're already able to give people a beating.
Speaking of a beating, Shinsekai taking a huge beating here from Shiny, but Arkellic comes in with the Predator boots, gets headbutt out though. 404 doing a good job stalling for the top laner. They might just turn this fight around. He uses the ultimate, tries to get a heal down. Great riposte to dodge a lot of the damage coming in from Shinsekai. The feast was used and dodged out there, but 404 will be the sacrificial cow here as Sovereign picks up a kill for their efforts to this bot lane roam.
Oh wow, Shiny cancels his recall.
I think he was just looking a bit adventurous there. Oh, well, Tansha 1v1 right in the mid lane. The better jungler wins.
This is 3 level difference we're looking at right now. 0 and 3 on the Camille, 5 and 0 on the Graves. This really brutal to fall behind, especially in the duelist versus duelist matchup. And I have to say, props to Handsome Desmond really enforcing this matchup and hitting it all the way home.
Yeah, there are a lot of games where your jungler gets ahead and he just keeps farming the jungle ahead to get himself further ahead, which isn't what we really saw here. He got the lead and he started to abuse his lead by catching Soul out in the jungle, consistently walking in to make his life hell, right? And that's what really snowballed his team.
This Graves is massive. He has the Black Cleaver completed already. That is an entire item ahead of the curve as compared to everybody else. The Zoe is still stacking up the tier. No first major item at 13 minutes. 2 items completed. That is how ahead of the game this Graves is right now. Oliver Baron trying to escape away from Crick as well as Kusuo.
Oh, can he find a return kill? I don't think so. Dark Binding. Oh, he does get it with the True Shot Barrage as well as the Mystic Shot. So 1 for 1, but a lot of resources being committed by SVR there in the top side. Does mean that this dragon is going to go the way of Geek Fam.
And once again, SVR, they just look lost on the map. They haven't looked good.
Yeah.
I have to say, in large part, we saw some mistakes from the bot lane, and largely it's the jungle decision making. This is not really enabling the team, and perhaps that's contributing to the frustration from the rest of the solo laners who decide that they need to make risky plays in order to try to mitigate for what's been happening in the game so far. Is he going to steal it? Does steal it away with the silence.
Nice. Gets it with the Feral Scream, and no blue buff away from Zoe is always like a good thing because you can sort of cross your fingers and thank God that no more Peril Stars will come.
Another steal. This time from Kusuo.
They keep stealing the jungle, but can they steal the victory? I don't know, man. It's looking a bit dicey now as 3 members come into the bot lane here. With the Graves around, you're always a bit worried, right? Because he's so far ahead.
Definitely, this Grave is a force of nature to be reckoned. If he's gonna find one, and there's this dead Morgana.
Yeah, he's not even trying anything. He's just like, you know what, I'm done, fam. Sleepy Trouble Bubble landing onto the Vladimir. Can he get out of this? The collateral damage is still available if he wants to use it. Is gonna find it right there. Great double kill there for Handsome Desmond in the jungle.
7-0 and 1. The amount of burst damage that Graves can bring to the table is something that Vladimir is extremely afraid of. Because he just waits for you to enter the pool, you go even lower in health, and the moment you come up, the range of the collateral damage is usually just enough to take you out.
701. This is like the challenger jungler in like a platinum game. It's just like carrying everyone. Don't worry, honor me after this. We'll be good, kind of thing. And it's really working out here for Geek Fam.
I mean, they say that it's smurfing, it's one way to put it. But we have, it's like I said, I keep repeating this, but Soul is a substitute jungler. And Svr, they really need to think about how they're setting up. Are they setting themselves up for success by putting a new and unexperienced jungler, an inexperienced jungler, in such a clutch position that he needs to play a mid-jungle-centric strategy, where he needs to make the right decisions, as compared to putting him on something like the likes of Trundle or Skarner, where you just do the two camps of the crab and you just support the lanes. Now you see he's trying to play aggressive, but he doesn't know how to hit the right beats, he doesn't know how to hit the right notes, he doesn't have a good enough understanding of the matchup to really execute it.
And this is a patch where I feel the jungle impact is more obvious than the previous patches because of all the changes to the Scuttle Crab and other things that really hold on. Let me hold my point as the fight breaks out in the mid lane. So trying to do as much damage as he can to 404. Uses his Hex Stack ultimatum onto Olivia Baron, but a True Shot Barrage will finish him off. And that's the jungler dead for Sovereign. Now it's a 4v5. They can't really fight this, have to back off. The attention turned towards the way of Shiny and Handsome Desmond. Man, this Graves has no fear running in. The great knockup onto two members. Can he find the kill? The ultimate being used by Fiora is going to provide the heal. All members of Sovereign have to just peel right off of this because it's not looking good whatsoever for them.
They take the fight 2 for 1. And we're starting to see the strength of this siege composition. They can just walk up to the turret, start hitting it, and Svr, they're going to scramble. Because they need to engage and engage fast onto the Astral, onto the Zoe. Or the Great just going for the burst assassination. Not able to find it, does not have the collateral damage. Oh, with Vladimir coming from the back. This is the flank that we're talking about. But is it going to be enough damage? The Kimi actually flashes in, tries to get a return kill. Graves still alive.
Oh, they
finally
get a
goes down.
1-for-1 and the Zoe getting a return kill, avenging her jungler, but so looking a bit adventurous here, tries to go in, a Sleepy Trouble Bubble landing, and so will the tactical sweep. So an exchange of skill shots, but it is Soul that gets the kill for that one.
But still we're looking at 7,000 gold deficit for the South Svr. I mean, that was a good flank from Vladimir, and they definitely need more of that if they want to get back into the game. They don't really have the most reliable of engage. Oh, never mind, the action just doesn't stop. Crusoe now going to be the one who gets caught out. Just going to stand down there and accept his fate.
Report my support his inting because it's a bit unfortunate he got caught out there, but at that point, you know,
I mean, you have no reason to be warding. You have no reason to be warding. The rest of your team is in the base. They're just dead. You have to give up the map control. You made a mistake in lane. You have to get punished for that, and you have to give up the map. Because now the rest of his team is respawned, and because the Morgana's not around, they still can't get the vision.
Oh, great flash away there by Olivia Baron to get out of the hook shot in from the Camille. So he stays safe for now. But there is a flash expander, which might be a bit more crucial in the next fight when Arakelik gets a flank. Shinsekai is starting to stack up the feast health bonus, so he's going to be a big front line for Sovereign here.
Stack as Cho'Gath can stack, but this is a Cho'Gath that's behind, so we will very likely be seeing him stuck on the 6 cap for the Cho'Gath.
Sleepy Trouble Bubble come in, Kasuo getting caught out, but we'll use the Black Shield to mitigate the damage coming in.
Mitigate the damage, but I think it doesn't really matter. If he gets hit by that second time, he's still dead. Black Shield or not, that was half his health.
Rift Herald being taken now, 19 minutes in. It's gonna expire in a couple of seconds, so really important that they get it. Oh, the True Shot Barrage nicking him on the side, but not enough damage to finish this one off. Handsome Desmond claiming the Rift Herald for himself. Arakelik really out of position. As of Vladimir, I'm not sure what you're doing there. Sovereign, is this the tilt, Jensen? I don't know.
Yep, this looks like it. That looks like tilt. That play there from the Vladimir has tilt spell all over it. He just goes in and is like, I just want to steal this Rift Herald. I don't really care for this game. Go for the hero play. Make myself look good. Going for the selfish mentality.
Oh, Handsome Desmond finding Quake here. Nope. Not enough damage and range to finish off that Caitlyn, even with the 90 caliber net being used.
I mean, if anything, I feel bad for Quake. He's like the only member left on this team who's actually trying.
Mid tier 2 being sieged down really quickly, and this is the composition that is so scary when they're hit when it comes to sieging, because they can just keep throwing the Sleepy Trouble Bubbles over the wall and try to catch members out. Meanwhile, Fiora gets a bot tier 2, and that's a good reward for Geek Fam here in this game too. They're looking like they're looking like they want to go to a game 3 very solidly.
Once again, the small minor victory so smites away the red buff from the Graves.
Dragon available, Mountain Dragon at that, and I think this is quite crucial here for Geek Fam to get it, because that's gonna pile on additional bonus for them to take the Baron. 2 Mountain Dragons is actually not much to scoff at.
10,000 goal lead at 20 minutes.
It's starting to look like a Resurgence versus Sovereign Game 1, you know. You don't want to call it too early, but it's almost like they're on their last few.
At least they have a tank. At least they have a tank this time. So there's still some hope for them, but I don't think they really have an answer to the Fiora or Svr at this point of time. And the tank is just too far behind. He's gone full armor. That Zoe's going to be chunking him as well.
Yeah. And I don't think he's going to get to the point where he can just walk in and soak damage, because you can see here, even with full armor, Shiny doesn't really care much for his defensive stats. He's going for the solo kill, tries to get it, will finish it off. Solo coming in might be a mistake though. 3 members of Sovereign trying their best to chase down this Fiora, but eventually it looks like he's going to get away with the flash as well. Great play coming in from Shiny. This Fiora starting to look ban-worthy.
Wow, I mean, he's just so far ahead right now.
It's pretty sick though. Like, it's a highlight replay.
Getting the Fiora kill, killing a tank with it. Killing a tank who's nowhere near the whoa, impressive.
This is gonna be better for Geek Fam, and that 70% chance of winning just went up to 80%. It's going to 90% soon. I think that Sovereign might be closed out of this game too relatively quickly. I don't want to call it too early, but it looks bad, Jensen.
I'm gonna do you one better. This is 200% one by now. Okay, I'm gonna give it a 99% because the 1% is that if somehow there's like a chrono break back to the start of the game, or if you know, if Geek Fam falls asleep when they find the computers or something.
Like they collectively fall asleep.
Yeah. Or they go into a team fight and then they all lose internet connection or something along those lines.
I mean, considering we're a cyber cafe, if they lose internet connection, then Sovereign will lose internet connection as well, right? So.
Oh, you never know. You've never heard about the blackout of spring 2016.
Oh boy. How do you find the connection in Vietnam, you know? Considering you have Evo, how does everything work there? Remember last time Hanoi Fu Lewis used to DC so much?
Yeah, they call it the Garena Pulse League for a reason.
Oh boy. Dotting the I's and crossing the T's.
He steps on it. He's going to go in for the burst. That's going to be the chain sleep.
Oh boy.
Whoa!
Yeah, that's actually pretty good Zoe play, you know, skill expression, thumbs up. I give it a 10 out of 10. Chaining the sleep.
I mean, this is how you know. This is how you know Svr, they are not even like trying to win this game anymore. It's like, I wonder if I step on this, if they can kill me.
Landing the sleepy double bubble. Oh, flashing away from that one. So that's actually quite a good response. But Arcalic immediately gets deleted, and this looks like game 2, ladies and gentlemen. Running in is the Alistair, and everyone else from Geek Fam just following down. I'm not even sure if this is going to be even competitive at this point, because they're so far behind in items. They get a clean ace, and nothing wrong here, just closing out the game. Geek Fam look really good in this game too.
The MVP for this game has definitely got to be the Grace. Just winning the Grace versus Killing matchup, they took the 2v2 early, and then they were able to take it home all the way from there. Just repeatedly snowballing, and look at the level leads right now. It's a 4 level difference between the Graves and the Camille, and that is going to be the end of the game as Geek Fam tied the series up 1-1.
Yeah, that's a GG. Good job by the Malaysian side, as Team Singapore have their work cut out for them here.
I mean, Morgana going with the triple ton mill. Okay, here's the thing. If you're SVR, here's what you do going to the next game. I think you're now on blue side. You can snatch the Astro for yourself. Just going with a similar draft as what they had in the first game, I think will be fine. Drop the priority on the Vladimir. I don't think they should be prioritizing it that highly, and then perhaps consider finding a way to either draft Skarner yourself and then go for Cassiopeia in the mid lane. That's my advice. Take the Skarner, go for Skarner Cassiopeia.
Okay, go for Skarner Cassiopeia. You heard it here first. Leonard, if you're just watching the stream, that's Jensen's advice.
He never listens to me. So,
Okay,
let's wrap this one up. Let's wrap this one up, and we'll be right back with the decider of this best of 3 between Sovereign and Geek Fam. The winner moves on to the finals to face RSG.